Hello, my dear Nagaland aspirants. In this video, we are going to discuss about NPSC and its major aspects which students are sometimes confused with. Now, NPSC is an exam which is conducted by Nagaland Public Service Commission. We all know about it. Every year, about end of the year, this exam been conducted as a prelims. Now, NPSC, like UPSC exams, is also same. The criteria of the selection procedure goes almost 1 year, divided into prelims, mains, and interview sections. Now, what we should know about the syllabus, let's try to understand. NPSC exam is giving you opportunity become an A grade officer of the state as a state level bureaucrat. This NPSC is divided into prelims, mains, and interview. So let's discuss about the prelims, mains, and interview first. This prelims exam, unlike UPSC, has a little bit difference in the state level of Nagaland. Nagaland and NPSC Civil Services conducts preliminary exam in one examination, and that is one paper. In this one paper, they have added almost 200 questions. Every question are of 1 marks, and total number of the paper is 200 marks. Obviously, we have negative marking as well. What is so important about prelims? Let's try to understand. NPSC prelims is coming under the broken sections of the core subject, and some are untold subjects or untold understanding of the awareness or information. That is current affair, or you can also think as a GK. Remember, the GS subjects which includes in prelims is geography, history, Indian polity, Indian economy, general science, CSAT, that is civil service aptitude test, and obviously it is a state level exam, so Nagaland related questions are given very high priorities. If we divide the section of these subjects, then from geography hardly 20 to 25, sometimes 26, and from history, modern history is being given more priority, where mostly modern history like Gandhian era, revolutionary era is giving more priority. Almost 35 to 40 questions been asked from the history part, that is modern history. Apart from that, almost 30 to 35 questions from CSAT, which is basic arithmetic, quants, and reasoning. Apart from this, almost 35 to 40 questions from Nagaland, which includes Nagaland culture, Nagaland heritage, Nagaland people, Nagaland political aspect, Nagaland geographical aspect, and Nagaland social aspects. These things been covered. Apart from this, almost 5 to 10 questions from Indian economy, in which if you are going through economic survey of India and the economic survey of Nagaland, apart from that, the state budget and the central budget gives most of the coverage of the topic in this subject. Apart from this, current affair again plays a very vital role in clearing preliminary exam, as we also discussed in UPSC. Current events comes usually in the form of GK, factual. They do not go too much conceptualize the current affairs. It is moreover like a GK. Facts questions mostly come. And the ideology of NPSC in current affairs mostly stick to the very secretive places. For example, like ISRO space research, world, any pioneer space project if it is launched. Apart from this, from defense, from other parts of the current affairs or GKs, new appointees, they are very important. Books, authors, very important. Apart from this, sports and film. All right, these are the few sectors from where the current event or GK questions been asked on the basis of factual ground. In fact, all the preliminary exam of NPSC is based on factual basis. In previous 2-3 years, we have observed a little bit small pattern of changes in MCQ, but overall the soul remains same, which NPSC is following since its beginning. This paper, preliminary exam, that you can easily crack by following some resources. Those resources are, if you do Indian, like first I will talk on Indian geography, like geography. If you focus more on Indian geography, about agriculture, about mineral, about people distribution, about industries, about physical part of India, rivers, then almost most of the power points you are covering in NPSC MCQs. Apart from this, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, factual information, important valleys, important lakes, important rivers, important glaciers, all those. In history part, you mostly cover the modern history, and when you cover the modern history, most of it, you are covering or you are prepared for prelims as well as mains, mostly. Remember that. All right. You can see the detailed syllabus over here. Let's try to see. This is your detailed syllabus of prelims. At first, you can see general science, where application based questions are highly recommended, because most of the application based question comes. For example, in physics, in washing machine, which fundamental force is applied, all right, that is centrifugal. Which forces of nature or universe is the weakest, especially on earth, that is gravity. That kind of physical, and from physics application based question comes. History, again, it is written broad general understanding of subject of social, economic, political aspects, social, cultural heritage of India, emphasizing unity in diversity. So a general idea of history, Nagaland social, cultural heritage of its people, geography, Indian geography, physical, social, economic geography, and the features of Indian agriculture and natural resources. See, clearly been mentioned Indian agriculture and natural resources, very important. Indian polity, country's political, executive, judicial system, and Indian national movement, especially again, Indian national movement is given separately. They have not written it as a modern history, but Indian national movement in their website it has been written. All right, this is a extract of it. So this is that general mental ability, that is reasoning aptitude. All right, almost 30 to 35 questions, and current event, that is based on, as I have told you before, on the basis of defense, on the basis of space research, on the basis of science and tech, on the basis of new appointees, on the basis of new books and authors, Nobel Prizes, awards, Filmfare Awards, everything. Okay, so those questions been asked in preliminary exam. Now, this is what is your preliminary exam. Then we see if you clear the main prelims, then you enter in mains. First, what I will try to take you is towards the cutoff positions of previous years. Although NPSC do not give any official cutoff data in their website. If you can search, you can also do that, but you won't get proper cutoff data in their website. This is our calculation on the basis on an average, but we will also provide you a detail of according to the tribal basis distribution of cutoff, because in Nagaland NPSC civil services we all know that it is divided into two categories. Maybe all are ST, but divided on the basis of economic based category. So there is western category tribes and eastern category tribes. Generally eastern category tribes are considered backward economics tribes. So we are, for them in NPSC cutoff is usually low. If this cutoffs which you are right now looking at is a general based category, okay, the western category, the western tribe economics section category. So if you see 2022 104 cutoff as a western for the western tribes, 2023 91 for the western tribes, for the 2024 100, 2022 again, that was again the previous year prelims, that is mains, right? 2022 389 for mains, okay, for mains 2023 325, and for 2024 295. We will see this slide again, but focus on right now in this preliminary exam. This is general category. Remember, in there is one point has to be remembered that everyone knows in Nagaland, that there is a Western Sumi and Eastern Sumi. Sumi tribes who are divided into Western and Eastern category. The Western Sumi are considered under the general category in terms of economic forwardness, and Eastern Sumi are considered as a backward in terms of economic backwardness. All right. So the Eastern Sumi tribes cutoff would be different, less than this. Obviously, this is an average cutoff for the forward tribes. All right. So that's how it is. Now let's try to understand. This is the syllabus. All right. You have understood Prelims, if your prelims is clear according to that cutoff, then you are jumping into mains. Now, the beauty of Nagaland Civil Services is, let's all try to understand. The beauty of Nagaland Civil Services is it is not so much tough that it is hyped. All right. The point is, if Nagaland also adopt UPSC kind of pattern, then the competition level in Nagaland would be tougher and more, hyped. So it's better to all the aspirant who are graduate from the Nagaland and universities and college, if they want to appear for civil services, this is the right time. Once the chairman has made its mind, or the government and their home affairs sitting meeting with the NPSC chairmanship, if they change the course, if they change the syllabus, then it will be literally a difficult mode of selection procedure. Obviously, the syllabus will also change. That we have already observed in our neighborhood state when the government changed and the syllabus of civil services also changed. We saw in Assam, which was changed in 2019, all right, and in Arunachal Pradesh, which is already going as per the almost the pattern of UPSC. A little bit of microbial changes, but almost the pattern of UPSC is being adopted by these states. So Nagaland is not so far. They can also be influenced by that mentality and psychology. So before that, right now in mains, what is there? In mains, we have three papers. You simply, not like UPSC. Three papers, like first paper is essay, English comprehension and grammar in one paper. All right. In second paper, purely GS1 objective again, which you gave in prelims, same type of pattern questions you will found in GS paper 1. But obviously, when we study PYQ, previous year question, if you thoroughly research, you understand that this GS paper 1 is giving more weightage on the modern history, almost 40 to 45 questions sometimes, some years. So history plays very pivotal role in GS paper 1. Apart from it, science question comes a lot, 20 to 25, 30 questions. All right. Apart from this, economy and geography. Geography hardly 10 questions. All right. Nagaland based MCQs also comes. So there in this paper, if you more focus on Nagaland history, including science, general science, current event and geography, you are easily able to clear this exam. After this was paper 1 that you can see here. The total, a general essay is of 80 marks, simply 100 marks, sorry. Your comprehension is of 80 marks and grammar is of 20 marks. Total 200 marks essay paper. And when we talk about GS1 is simply your MCQ markers as written there, 200 marks, mostly focused on modern history, current event, your graphs and diagrams, which is CSAT again, basic everyday science, 25 to 30 questions, not joke. Nagaland all aspect questions. If you focus on this, your GS paper 1 in M mains is cleared. After this, again 3 hours paper, okay, 200 questions are there. Apart from this, GS paper 2 is purely descriptive. We need to understand this paper, which is coming in a one format, is divided into set A and set B, not different paper, but in one paper there are two set A and set B. Set A is purely divided into 2 marker, 5 marker, 10 marker and 20 marker question. And paper set B is also divided into 2 marker, 5 marker, 10 marker and 20 marker questions. Now, what is the difference? In set A, generally India related, Indian society related, Indian geography related, Indian economy related, history related, polity related, 2 marker questions will be there. I'm not going into more detail of the subjects, but try to have the idea of it. And after that, 5 markers questions comes, then 10 marks question comes, then 20 marks question comes. That does not belong to the state information. Practically India, all right, national information में आता है. Apart from this, set B is totally dedicated for Nagaland. Nagaland related 2 marker questions, Nagaland related 5 markers, Nagaland related 10 markers and Nagaland related 20 markers questions. So if you attempt those questions well, you have to write it in descriptive way. This is the paper in descriptive way. All right. Again, 2 or 3 hours time will be given, 200 marks. Simply descriptive. You have to write, you have to manage your time, you have to also develop the writing skills. That will help you in 5, 10, and 20 marks question. In 2 marks question, you generally have to promote only 2 facts. If you write 2 facts, your 2 marks is done. All right, you don't see too much of writing. All right, so what is the most important part in this? From geography, focus on history, sorry, focus on Indian geography, Indian agriculture, Indian minerals, resources, very important. Basic terms in 2 marks are very important. Ecotourism from environment, right? Apart from this, what is endemism? Those type of questions. Apart from this, in polity, again, polity questions are almost negligible in 2 markers in GS paper 2. But still, if you are thinking that basic questions can come, so you can go as per the basic understanding of polity of India. Apart from that, economic questions: what is stagflation, what is inflation, what is repo rate, what is reverse repo rate. This type of questions usually come in 2 markers. We don't see too much of question in 5 and 10. All right. After this, Indian economy, geography, public administration, social problems and sensitive issues, including environmental problems. For example, reintroduction of cheetah project, already asked in previous years, right, which was introduced in, I think, 2019 2022 के between में, right. Apart from that, Nagaland geography, society, culture, heritage is always there, very highly important, and administration in Nagaland, very important. These are the more focused points in GS paper 2. Once you clear it, we know the marks. Once you clear it already, so cutoff should be in 2022. The overall, if you calculate, this is 200 marks. If you calculate, this is 200 marks. Total 400 marks. And if you calculate, this is 600 marks. So total your mains marks is 600. All right. And 600 out of 600, the cutoff for mains was approximately for 2022 389. If you are clearing 300, if you are gaining out of 600 more than 383, you are clearing the mains. All right. For 2023, 325 marks, and 2024, 295 marks. See, so less in number. So it is not so much difficult that we praise so much that it is a difficult exam. No, almost in Nagaland, almost 13,000 to 14,000 candidate fills the form of NPSC civil services, and the number of posts on an average is around 200 to 50. This year it is less, it is 96, but average 300 200 is gone. So the overall mentality of selection is basically 1:3 ratio or 1:10 ratio. That 10 people, 1 out of 10, 1 out of 3, that kind of mentality is there. So cutoff is also being set up accordingly. Plus the toughness of exam. Toughness of exam also, again, I have told you before, the cutoff marks in NPSC depends on toughness and number of candidate against the number of vacancy. That is also one of the prime aspect. All right. So this was the cutoff. So if you are gaining, at least you don't need to achieve more than 400 marks, more than 500 marks. No. Out of 600, if you are hardly able to achieve more than 380, 300, 82 or 85, you will easily crack the pains. All right. After that, what we discuss or what we know is, after this you will enter in interview section. Again, like UPSC, they have checked all of your information. They have checked all of your mental ability. Right now they want to know about your personality, your understanding, your analysis, critical analysis mindset, and presence of mind. All these questions based questions been asked. All the questions which will reveal your identity, those questions are mostly thrown towards you. All right. So this is the part of NPSC syllabus. We will come up with another syllabus detail. Thank you.